Welcome to Bridging the Gap. I'm your host, Audra Carter, and I'm very proud to have with me today Jacqueline Miles, publisher of the Pensacola Voice, as my co-host today. Hi, Jackie. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Audra. And how are you today?
Fine. We have some good guests with us.
Yes, we do.
And we're going to talk today about the MLK activities coming up for you on, I believe it is September the 17th? No.
January 17th is the first event.
Well, I was just seeing if you were with me. January 17th is the first event.
The first event that we're having this year will be the musical program. On January 17th, it will be at the Greater Union Baptist Church. The next event will be the religious services, the prayer breakfast on Saturday. That will be at the Wright Center downtown. And then we'll have the religious services on Sunday, and the parade will be on Monday.
And that was Charles Jefferson. He is a member of the board of MLKCCC, and he is also the treasurer. And we want to thank you so much for getting right into the show and telling us when these activities are going to be. But you know, every now and again, someone touches your life, like Dr. Martin Luther King did. And for me and many people in Pensacola, I'm sitting by a man who has not only touched my life and the lives of my daughter, but hundreds and hundreds and perhaps thousands of people's lives. We're very happy to honor Dr. J.S. Young. He is the pastor of Mount Canaan Baptist Church, and he is also Pawpaw, known to many, many of the children. We want to thank him today for being with us and to be our honoree. And most importantly, for this segment, he is the executive director of the MLKCCC Commission. Welcome, Dr. Young. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Are you surprised?
Yes.
We coached him here today. We want to thank Mr. Charles Jefferson. He actually picked him up and said they were going to breakfast. And he ended up here at our beautiful sponsored offices of Marcus and Booths. It is on the corner of Brent Lane and Davis Highway. We want to thank them so much for sponsoring this show. And we're going to get right into exactly what is the upcoming MLKCCC activities going to be, and why do you think, Dr. Young, people might want to be involved with these events?
I think that the movement of MLK Jr. had reached the minds of all of our community, black and white, because his accomplishment was for all people. He was not just fighting for black and things of this nature. One of the things that struck me once when he came to a store, it was in Chicago, some city up north, and a black woman was working in this white store, and she hit him in the head. And if the folk in there had been quick to get the doctor, they might have killed her.
Yes.
And they wanted to and all said, don't bother. Just stay here on a job. And that motivated me. I knew him before he became the kind of deliverer of our people from injustice. And I knew his daddy. We went together at our National Baptist Convention, and that's why I met both of them. He was like his daddy. His daddy was like me. He was a good man.
Oh, he was like you. He was a good man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, and listening to you talk about that event, Reverend Young, I can use that as a segue into our local MLKCCC.
Right.
Just like that event inspired him, Dr. Young, just like Audra, Dr. Young has inspired me. And this commission, the Martin Luther King Commemorative Celebration Commission, was started by Dr. Young.
Right.
He is one of the founding members.
Yeah.
You know, when there was nothing, he created it.
Started twice and didn't have, got down to the breakfast that couldn't pay the folk. And they knew I had sold hundreds of dollars, and they called me on my Sunday morning. I was on my way to Reverend. We tell them we bid on that money to pay it, and they never got off the foot. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
one thing too, I think a lot of people should know too that Pastor King, Reverend Young here, has been very instrumental in the civil rights movement. He was one of the ministers that worked tirelessly behind the scenes of a lot of things that were going on in Pensacola during that time. Even at the Naval Air Station, when there were problems out at the Naval Air Station.
I segregated.
Yes. Reverend Young was the one that stepped up and said that we should be equal in pay, as well as of a lot of promotions that was going on out there. So there's a lot of reasons why we are recognizing Reverend Young for this, not just because he's a minister, but because he has worked tirelessly behind the scenes, and he was a very hard worker. He took a lot of lumps and bruises for a lot of people that people didn't even know that he was taking. So I have to say, because I was a young girl, I won't say how young, but I was a young girl during that time. And I mean, he really was an inspiration, even for me coming up, to say, I want to follow in his footsteps.
You know, I have to say that there are going to be a lot of good things to happen that weekend. Like you said, the musical on that Friday, and then the prayer breakfast on that Saturday. Mm-hmm. And my pastor, Dr. Michael J. Johnson, will bring the message. Mm-hmm. And he is also, if I'm correct, a son in ministry. Is that correct?
That's my son in the ministry.
And you have a lot of sons.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of daughters.
Yeah.
And a lot of children.
Yeah.
How old are you? 23?
At least.
At least. And I say that to say that Dr. Young has a really young spirit. They say that when you speak to yourself, every time someone mentions his name, Dr. Young, he's young. He keeps it up. How old are you, 23?
I had
93.
93. 93
I had
years
breakfast
old.
with him this morning.
February 9th, 94.
My goodness,
right.
My goodness.
He told me this morning, I said, Dr. Young, you are a blessed individual.
Yes,
and you have indeed passed it on to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Dr. Young started a scholarship, which is in his name. And so he has been an innovator for the entirety of his life, I believe. I've known him for the last about 15 years. And in that time, he has caused me to become involved in a lot of things that I might not have been involved in. But using his example, I'm kind of idealistic, and I got inspiration from Dr. Young.
So let me ask you a question for those who are listening to us. Where do you see the MLKCCC movement in the future?
It's rather difficult to say focus, still getting grown and grown. Mm-hmm. You can fix one group and the next group is going to scatter. It's a lifetime struggle to change a person's mind. They don't do it often, and when they especially get used to doing this, that, and the other. I've been hanging on because I'm a child of God and I love God. Wouldn't take a dime. They was giving me a dime, and yet I get my time, money.
You know, the Martin Luther King Commemorative Celebration Commission of Pensacola Incorporated, that's why we say MLKCCC, because that long name takes so long. But the whole idea of the commission is to cause the community to celebrate the life and works and belief and the dream of Dr. King. And that's the inspiration that I've gotten from Dr. Young. When you go off and you say, well, I want to put on a prayer breakfast, I want to do this. We're not putting on a prayer breakfast, we're putting on an event to commemorate to extend the dream of Dr. King. Some people say that, we are beyond that point. Personally, I don't think so. Like this year, our motto is building a dream on the foundation of faith. And we choose a motto each year with the idea that we want to keep people remembering that we're not celebrating a holiday. We're celebrating the life of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
And
I would like to say this. My first step toward the changing the lives of people that's black and white. I went to the city and asked them to give us a spot on Palafox Street. Yes. Keep running. And finally they did. And I led the finance to build a park, and his name is downtown.
Yes,
now.
it is.
Yes. Pack everybody, especially somebody get killed, they'll run out there and they have prayer and things of this nature.
The Martin Luther King Plaza.
Yeah, I raised the funds to raise the, and I'm not talking about no $10,000 either.
Well, one of the things that we want to do is, there's a saying that says, give me my flowers while I yet live. So today, as being part of the fruit of the First West Florida Association and one of your subdaughters from your son, today, I don't give it often, and then Jackie and I was talking, how could we tell you that we love you? And in my heart, from me to you, the Lord has blessed me to meet many bridge builders and gap standers, and that's what Bridging the Gap is all about. So today, I've only given these two out in the last 18 years. Today, we're going to give you a certification of appreciation for a lifelong community bridge builder. And just so you know what a bridge builder is, it's someone who impacts the communities through their examples, wisdom, and readiness to share and serve others. They are individuals who see the gaps that exist between cultures and communities and choose to make the effort to mend them. They are persons like yourself who have achieved great things and who are reaching back to help others attain their goal. We love you, Dr. Young. This is in recognition of your many years of service as the Executive Director of the Martin Luther King Commemorative Celebration Commission. From me to you, God bless you.
Isn't that something? God,
Here.
Ta-da!
God bless.
And it's an example, as we wrap up, of one person being able to touch the lives of many, like myself, Dr. Young, Charles Jefferson, and the Pensacola Voice, who's been in this community for the last 40 years. We want you to enjoy the activities that's yet to come on this coming, when is it? Starting on January
17th.
Quickly?
January 17th, we have the musical program. January 20th, we have the prayer breakfast. January to Sunday, we'll have the religious services. And then on Monday, we'll have the parade. So
come join us.
Yes.
On the parade or any of the activities. If they want to get tickets or anything, who should they call?
Call Pastor Miles Bryant. I don't have his number, though.
Well, call me.
478-0428.
Maybe that's something.
Yes.
He is younger than all of us and remembers the number. You just go ahead, Pastor Young. We want to thank you for being with us on this segment of Bridging the Gap. I'm your host, along with Jacqueline Miles with the Pensacola Voice, and we look to see you again on next month as we celebrate Black History Month. Thank you and have a good day.
Greetings. My name is Charles Jefferson. I'm a board member of the Martin Luther King Commemorative Celebration Commission, and I'd like to extend a heartfelt greeting to our Executive Director, Dr. James S. Young.
I bring you greetings from the University of West Florida. I'm Dr. Brian Turner, and I am president of the Black Employees Association. We are here to celebrate the life, the legacy, and the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
Hi, my name is Greg Strader. Brace recognizes our newest disaster preparedness partners, 6th Avenue Baptist Church, Englewood Baptist Church, Mount Pilgrim Baptist Church, St. Matthew's Baptist Church, Friendship Baptist Church, and Greater Union Baptist Church. Welcome, Brace partners.
Hello, My name is Jesse Walker. I'm the owner and director of the Virtual Gastric Bypass Weight Loss Center. We're here celebrating Black history and the many contributions that Black Americans have contributed to our daily lives.
Hi, we're back, and I'm Jacqueline Miles, publisher of the Pensacola Voice, and we're here celebrating the Martin Luther King celebration, and we've honored Reverend Young as our honoree. So as you can see, he's still sitting here with us, and he's going to enjoy this time with us. And we also now have Dr. Brian Turner, who's with the University of West Florida. Welcome, Dr. Turner.
Good day, good day.
How have you been enjoying things so far?
Everything's going well. Everything's going well.
Good. Let me ask you. I hear that the Diversity Council at UWF is making strides in a lot of inclusions of their efforts. Can you tell me exactly what you feel the impact is, that you all are having on the campus?
Well, the biggest thing that we've moved to do at this time is hire a Chief Diversity Officer, which will sit at the Associate Vice Provost level. That will sit under our new Provost, Dr. Martha Saunders. Along with the hiring of a Chief Diversity Officer, we do have a Presidential Policy Council, which advises and helps to shape, the campus and efforts and initiatives in regards to diversity and inclusion, inclusive excellence, and multicultural competency. We've also instituted bias response team, which the role of that bias response team is in the event of any situation that will be immediately convened, and it will address the threat. It will do the follow-up, and it will do any type of remediation in regards to any threats or issues that come up. One of the biggest things that also has occurred is our Chief of Police, John Warren, has actually instituted greater training for police officers on campus in regards to looking at any type of hate crimes or threats or discrimination. A lot of that has gone into increased patrols, increased training around ideas or images or any type of things like nooses or hate speech. As well, the biggest thing that's occurred is a heightened sense of awareness. So with all of those things that have come online, those have helped to heighten. And it all has started at the president's level. Dr. Bentz has really taken us to task, and she's really blessed this effort and going forward. So as we move forward, we hope that our efforts in terms of greater diversity and inclusion on campus will actually be seen far beyond campus and into the community.
In the spirit of bridging the gap, I want to say I know that UWF has done a lot of events, and I'm really interested in knowing how long have you guys been celebrating the events on MLK Day?
Well, UWF is a young institution for what it's worth. It's only been around less than 50 years. And in its full fulfillment of its mission, Dr. King and other celebrations of diversity have occurred on campus from the inception of the institution. However, I'm actually the president of the Black Employees Association, and the history of that organization was begun in 1987 with Dr. Godfrey Franklin. And at that time, he really saw fit to really infuse diversity. And that organization oversaw and has overseen for the last some odd years celebrations every year annually for Juneteenth, for Dr. King, for Kwanzaa. And currently, we know that the efforts have been to bring diversity to campus. And so annually, we have multiple events that are collaborated through multiple people, through multiple offices. And with those efforts, we try to make sure and include the community. We're trying to make sure we bridge those gaps. We're trying to make sure we include community partners in those collaborations. So annually, we know that we do those three events, Dr. King's celebration, Kwanzaa, and Juneteenth. Since I've been on campus for almost 5 years at this time, we've annually held the University of West Florida's Men of Color Retreat. That's held every fall, and we bring in national speakers. It's a conference in which we do presentations and networking for students of color, focused around issues for men, but also the issue of diversity in terms of how we train and how we work with folks.
What type of speakers have you brought in?
This past year, we actually had Tim Wise, who's a noted author on anti-racism issues. We've had Sean Harper, who is a noted researcher and educator around issues of equity for gender and race in higher education. 2 years ago, we had Dr. Saeed Sewell, who has, the Center for African American Male Success and Leadership. He's moved on to Kent State. But we've had a number of speakers who are nationally known and recognized. My mentor actually comes down, Dr. Joseph White. He's noted as the foremost author on black psychology. He wrote the seminal article, and he's come every year. Actually, for this fall, we've already got on tap Dr. Ann Chan, and we're going to look at crossing and bridging bridges. So she's looking at cross-cultural mentorship. So that's what some of the things we've done.
Again, one of the most important things we want the community to know is that we bridge gaps. That's what we do here. And right today, with Dr. Young being with him, we have the young and the wise. I was talking about you, the young. He's the wise.
Right.
You got that twisted.
Yeah. He's a little of both. Really.
He's a little of both. And we want to pledge to support the efforts of MLKCCC and UWF in bridging that gap.
Yes.
I urge you to get to know Dr. Young, for with him is many, many words of wisdom that will connect. Not to mention, he's a spiritual giant. And when he prays, amen, things happen. So we're going to have Dr. Young stay with us as he's looking really good up here with his blue suit. And we're going to come back with another important person at UWF who's going to tell you about all the programs that are going on. We'll be right with you in just a few minutes.
Hi, my name is Greg Strader. Grace would like to join in that Black History celebration by celebrating our newest partners, 6th Avenue Baptist Church, Englewood Baptist Church, Mount Pilgrim Baptist Church, St. Matthew's Baptist Church, Friendship Baptist Church, and Greater Union Baptist Church.
And we're back with Alicia Ross from UWF, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the programs and services and the events for MLK weekend. How are you doing?
I am great and so glad to be here. How are you?
How you doing?
How you doing?
I always want to be a little bit like Wendy. We are fine. We're here honoring our honoree today. He's just sitting up here looking so good, taking it all in. I said to him on the break, I said, do you want to say anything? He said, no. I just want to sit here and look good. So you are doing that very well.
Thank you, sir.
Alicia, tell us a little bit about the events that happen out on campus.
Well, we've got several events that we're going to be hosting, and there's a lot going on at UWF all the time, but especially on Thursday the 17th, we're going to have Dr. Bernard Lafayette, and he is a minister, author, and one of the chief civil rights activists. We'll have him out there. He's worked with the SCLC and a host of other major civil rights, different organizations throughout his life. And then on Saturday, we're having a day of service because we want to give back and we want to do what Dr. King wanted us to do, sharing with others as well as sharing of your giving of yourself. And at 2 o'clock, we're going to have a cultural explosion on campus where we'll have different people from different areas and segments of the university as well as the Pensacola community, and they'll be coming out to campus and sharing with us. So everyone come on out. If you were there last year, you know how great it was, so come on out again. And we just want to honor and give back, and we're also going to have a panel discussion. Our president of our Black Employee Association, Dr. Brian Turner, is going to be chairing that part of it, and it's going to talk about how not just the dream, but how we can continue that dream now. What are we doing now? We like to say the dream of Dr. King, but we want to take that dream and make it reality.
Right. That is awesome.
Thank you. Thank
When
you.
are your dates again? Can you tell us
It's
the
going to
dates
be
again?
Thursday, January the 17th, and that's going to be at 6 o'clock. And then it's going to be Saturday, a day of service, and there are several different things that you can do during that day. And then at 2 o'clock on Saturday, and that's January the 19th, we'll be at the Commons Conference Center, Building 22 on UWF's campus. And we're going to start that cultural explosion and have those different acts and performances from people around the community.
You know, what I really like is how well coordinated that is with the MLKCCC.
Thank you.
Because for those of you out there, what is so wonderful is Thursday you go out to UWF, right?
Yes.
Then Friday you go to the musical,
Yes.
right? Then Saturday morning you go and have breakfast with the MLKCCC. And then in the afternoon you go hang out at WUWF at what? Did you say 2 o'clock?
At 2 o'clock.
And then Sunday we have our religious services at 3 o'clock, and you guys have something
at Greater Union. That's going to be it at Greater Union. And then Monday, the parade.
Now, how did they do that? That's called coordination. That's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
Right, Dr. Young?
Sure will.
And that's called,
and,
really, and that's called community working together.
Yes, it is.
And I'd really like to see that. I mean, I'm really happy to have Jackie here.
Yes,
the great things about having the press hang out with you is, Jackie's been here.
They just want to make sure that I cover this.
A long, long time. And I think that the season is right.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
The season is right for all of us to come together and truly work to help bring each other together. And like Dr. Young said, it doesn't matter what color you are.
No.
We're celebrating the spirit of this great man. We have many great leaders in this room, in this community that we want to celebrate.
Yes.
Today, we're just honoring one. But let me just remind you that through one, many things can happen.
So true.
That's so true.
And as we begin to wrap this up, Jackie, how has this experience been for you with Bridging the Gap hosting? Yeah, don't be blinking your eyes at me. She's like, ah! Jackie is my new co-host, and I'm so excited. So yes, I'm on air asking you, have you had fun?
This has been a lot of fun. It reminds me kind of the old days being in California, but yeah, this has been a lot of fun. What I'm really looking forward to is that this is going to be a year of change. Mm-hmm. We've always talking about 2013, and we're saying forget about the past.
Exactly.
Let 2012 go. Get a new interest. Come on, make that change, because it's all about prosperity. It's about bringing the community together. And this is what Bridging the Gap is doing. We're bridging the gap. I think
we want to say thank you so much for what you guys do
welcome.
At UWF. And quickly tell people any last parting thoughts.
You guys can go out to uwf.edu/BEA, or you can Google MLK 2013 at UWF. And get all the information you need on all the different activities that we'll be doing. I want to thank Dr. Judy Benz and her office, our Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Kevin Bailey, and his office, our Student Government Association, their Diversity Chair, Jasmine Rucker, those different organizations on campus, Phi Beta Sigma, Zeta Phi Beta, all of those that are helping us with all of those different events that we'll be having to celebrate Dr. King.
She even took a deep breath when she said all of that.
And last but not least, Honoree, any last words of wisdom?
I thought would be that all that we do, we got to be good exemplars of it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Don't tell me to do one thing and I do something else.
Amen.
Yeah.
I could not have said it best. We thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you next month, because we're going to be doing a Black History Month show. I'm your host, Audrey Carter, with Jack Coolin Mouth, Pentagola Voice. We'll be back with you on next month. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.